I remember the day they told me my dream was ridiculous. I was just 17, standing in the living room with my battered notebook clenched tightly in my hands. My family looked at me like I was a joke, eyes filled with disbelief, mouths curling into smirks. My father scoffed, "You can't be serious. That's a pipe dream. You're wasting your time. You're embarrassing us all." My mother shook her head, voice trembling with disdain, "You'll never make it. Dreams like that are for fools, not for girls like you." They didn't see my passion. They only saw a foolish girl chasing an impossible fantasy, one that would never bring stability or respect. I felt the sting of their rejection deep in my chest, like a cold, sharp blade. I was humiliated, embarrassed, but beneath it all, I felt a flicker, my resolve burning brighter than ever. I refused to be crushed under their words. I decided then and there to prove them wrong. I packed my tiny bag that night, leaving behind a home that felt like a prison of doubt, and I promised myself I would chase that dream regardless of their ridicule. They called me delusional, naive, pathetic. But I knew in my heart that I had to try. Failure was better than surrender, I thought. At least I would know I fought for what I loved. The journey wasn't easy. Every step forward seemed met with 1,000 setbacks. I faced rejection after rejection, doors slammed in my face, harsh words from skeptics, nights filled with tears and doubts. But I clung to that notebook, to my passion for storytelling, for creating worlds that could inspire others. I worked tirelessly, pouring every ounce of energy into my craft. I took odd jobs to survive, sometimes sleeping in my car when rent was overdue, always reminding myself, this pain was temporary. I wasn't meant to stay hidden forever. Years passed. I moved from city to city, building my portfolio, gaining small recognition, slowly but surely. Each rejection hardened me, each failure taught me resilience. I learned to stand tall even when the world whispered I'd never succeed. Slowly, my stories found ears, then eyes. My name started appearing in tiny credits, my work featured in local magazines, then online platforms. I was transforming that ridiculous dream into reality. And then, one day, everything changed. I signed a contract with a major production company. My stories became films, my voice reached millions. I was finally living the life I'd fought so hard for. The bitter words of my family echoed faintly in the back of my mind, but I pushed them aside. I had become proof that perseverance, passion, and refusal to give up could break through even the strongest walls of doubt. Now here I am, an award-winning creator, acclaimed and celebrated. I've earned my place in a world that once labeled me foolish. But the biggest moment was yet to come. I had to face them, my family. The day I returned home after years of success, I could feel the weight of anticipation and nervousness pressing down on me. I was nervous, more than I expected. I wondered if they'd see me differently, if they'd finally recognize what their doubts had only fueled. Walking into that small townhouse, I saw it all. The same faded wallpaper, the worn furniture, but something else was different. I was different. Confident, radiant, unshakable. I had finally become everything they claimed I couldn't be. The living room was packed with my family, eyes fixed on me with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. My father's face betrayed a glimmer of nervousness, his jaw tightening. My mother looked away briefly, composure slipping. My siblings stared with wide eyes, probably convinced I was here to gloat or make them feel small. But I wasn't there to boast, I was there to show them the truth. I took a breath. My voice trembled only slightly as I spoke. I came back to show you that I made it, that all those years of fighting, of proving you wrong, was worth it. I paused, letting the silence settle. Then I continued, I wasn't foolish. I was brave. I never stopped dreaming and I never quit. I am proof that your doubts only fueled my fire. There was a long, tense silence. Then my father, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. His voice was rough, unfamiliar with softness. We doubted you because we thought you were chasing something impossible. We were scared for you. But I see now, you proved us wrong. My mother's eyes gleamed with quiet tears. She looked at me with a mixture of pride and regret. I'm sorry I doubted you, sweetheart. We didn't see what you saw in yourself. We only saw what we wanted for you, a safe, steady life. But you showed us that sometimes, the biggest risks bring the greatest rewards. My siblings looked at me differently, no longer skeptics, but silent witnesses to my resilience. I finally felt their respect, though I knew it had come after years of heartbreak. I looked around that room, knowing I'd pushed through every barrier to return stronger, unbreakable. That night, as I sat with my family, I realized something profound. Their rejection had once felt like a verdict, an end to my hopes, but it became the spark that ignited my courage. Every snide comment, every dismissive word had been fuel for my fire. I had turned their doubts into my weapon, transforming pain into power. Now, I stand here, a woman who refused to be defined by the skepticism of others. I am living proof that dreams aren't just for the naive, they're for those willing to fight for them, regardless of the cost. I return to my roots, not to seek approval, but to show that a girl with nothing but a notebook and an unbreakable will can rise above doubt and ridicule. And as I look into their eyes now, I feel a quiet, triumphant peace. This is my victory. Their disbelief? Just a chapter in the story of my redemption, a story I will tell for the rest of my life, because I am more than their doubts. I am proof that sometimes, the greatest revenge is success.